So welcome back to Spaz on Wheels. And for the intro, mistakes were made for sure. So that's what we're going to cover on this ride as I take this bike to go get some fuel today. Going to explain the mistakes that were made and why and what's to come now and all that good stuff. So, the last video I made was 9 months ago, which actually was a tour of our previous housing arrangements, as things have changed since then. So when we left Kansas City, we had actually already traded our Indian Chieftain for an Indian Chief for my wife, Bubbles. We got rid of my Tiger 1200 and ended up with a Rocket 3 and left in our 33-foot toy hauler. After that, we ended up getting a new truck in South Dakota. I believe my video 9 months ago was actually in South Dakota, where I gave a tour. It was by Rapid City. Farmer doing some work. And we sort of took off. Along the road, we decided that we really needed a bagger again, because I needed something to go grocery store, shopping with, instead of bikes with no bags. I'll wait for my app to tell me which way to go up here, because I'm pretty sure I'm turning. Actually, I'll go straight here. So we swapped out bikes to something we could ride, and then decided we needed a bagger. We needed something to go grocery shopping with, and something better for two up, because a lot of times we're two up, unless we're riding together. But a lot of the events I go to, I end up being the one on the front, and my wife ends up on the back. So we ended up trading the bikes in Louisiana. I believe this was, this would be March of 23. And we ended up picking up a 23 Road Glide Limited. I'll throw in some footage because I actually didn't do any vlogs after I got that bike. I actually did record some, but I never actually posted anything. So I'll post it. One thing with that bike is it didn't have the spirit that I thought I wanted. It didn't feel like my Indian Challenger, to be honest. That's really the big problem. So I ended up getting rid of it in May and going without any motorcycles up until July 3rd. Boy, was that a mistake, not having a bike. Mental health-wise. With the lifestyle we're doing out of the RV, I need an outlet, and a bike's a great outlet for that. And not having one was really, really hurting my mental health. So we ended up going in Milwaukee, and going to Milwaukee Harley-Davidson, and finding this Road King Special, which actually is almost the same color as the truck. So we ended up purchasing it, and it's sort of that middle ground. It's not overly expensive. The other bike sort of put us in a financial bind after upgrading our camper. This was tighter than we wanted it to be. This is more reasonable, still gives us the bags. And it has a heck of a lot more spirit. I don't know if this is the stage 1 that's doing it. The only thing we did to the bike was added slip-ons and put a backrest on it so far. So but it is a heck of a lot more spunky. And I'll wait for the navigation to stop yakking at me. So we are still down to one bike. Well, we definitely eventually have to get my wife a different one, but financially right now, this is what we can do. The 120th Harley anniversary is coming up, and I'll probably at least drive around to some of the event areas and see how things are going. Bomb around on this bike. I have got it past 500 miles now, so I can wrench on it a little bit, and it definitely has some get up and go. I'm very pleased with the performance out of this, actually, versus 114 in a Road Glide Limited versus 114 in this. So it's got to be the tune and the weight. It's got to be those two things combined together. So, but it's definitely a nice ride. It already has got a name, and it's going to live up to that name. It's going to take some time, but this is going to be our truck is Bluebell, and this is now Blue Beast, and I'm theming it after Beast from X-Men. That shows my geek side of it. And it's going to mutate into the beast it needs to be. And it'll go through a lot of transitions. Some things I'm thinking about, just to cover my bases. Handlebars will go to T-bars right away. That's the next step, because I really can't deal with the stock ones much longer. We're going to, of course, work on performance stuff. I will more than likely go to some form of a 2-to-1 exhaust and a cam at the same time, so I have to tune once, not twice. So that'll be on the docket. I'll more than likely start off with a Road Warrior fairing until I can put money away to get a Clockworks FXR style, and some audio will get put in here eventually as well. Longer term, more than likely look at some bigger upgrades to the motor, whether it's a big bore kit or I swap to a 131 or a 135. All financially bearing, of course. I'm going to play this out slowly. We're just going to start changing it over time. I got some cool paint ideas I want to do, using the base color that's there and airbrushing some stuff over top of it, and maybe adding some covers that are custom made, stuff like that, just to give it the aesthetics of sort of X-Men and stuff like that. So we're gonna keep evolving it, and it's going to mutate into a pretty badass beast, I think. So more to come on that, and that's what the moto vlogs are going to be about going forward, as well as locations that I'm in. Right now, we are in West Bend area. I've been here for a couple weeks. We'll be moving over to more central, south central Wisconsin for some family camping trips. I'm going to stop and gas up here for a second. So I'm going to wait till I'm done with the fueling, and I will then come back and talk to you. This is not the diesel kind of motorcycle, so we'll get some premium over here. Problem with a lot of Wisconsin gas stations is ethanol. All right, we're all fueled up. Be interesting. One thing is, since I'm waiting on plates from South Dakota, is that the dealership gave me a very large paper plate that is supposed to be put into the rear window of your vehicle. There are no windows on my vehicle, so it's in my bag. So worst case, if I ever get pulled over, I'll just have to deal with explaining it's a brand new bike. I haven't got the plates yet, still waiting on them. Here's my template. Yes, I'm insured, all that good jazz. But yeah, so we're going to work through building up this bike, and eventually we'll get Bubbles another bike. She's thinking she wants a Springfield from Indian. By the way, is it weird that I'm wearing an Indian shirt riding a Harley Davidson? Uh-oh. Is he going to get that guy? Oh, yeah. Woo-woo. Speeder. I'm going to do a lot of slowing down here, or the officer's probably going to get out of his vehicle. Alright, so yeah, so that's what her thoughts are on right now as an Indian, and she likes the ride of them a lot. She hasn't rode this yet. I should get her on it at some point and let her find out whether she likes it or not, because it's actually a lot different than I thought it was going to be. What's funny is I'd never rode one, and then I decided to buy one. I didn't actually ride it until I drove it off the lot. I just assumed it's like every other Harley I've owned. But I've owned quite a few, and at least in the 114 config, I've owned a 2019 Ultra. I've owned a 2023 Ultra, or Road Glide Limited, I mean. So I've had experience with the 114s before. Not a stage 1. I never actually never put a stage 1 on any of my bikes that were in the 114 configuration, at least. The 103s, back in the day on the twin cams, I did those. Those were fun. So, we're just going to pull in here. I'm going to give you shots of the bike. Use this parking lot up here for that, if I can. Just borrow it temporarily. I'm a student. I'm dropping off. So I'm just going to pull in here and we'll do a quick walk around to the bike and then get back on the road. I'll leave her running. So there she is as we go into the sunset here. I've got Chromeworks slip-ons, the HP 45s, all in black, of course, downward slash cut that follows the bag, and I got the standard handlebars still and just the backrest. That's all we've got. So we'll get back on the road here. I'll take one more walk around it, and it's dirty because I ride, and I haven't washed it since I've took it out and got ate by bugs. So, no, but so far so good. Some things, let's see, some things I don't like so far. The gauges in the dark. They have that amber light. It's not my favorite thing. I don't like the amber lights. The gas cap has the same thing. I don't know why. I know it's probably a classic thing with the Road King, the two chrome caps up here. I don't know why we're chrome. Why can't we black everything out? I know there's upgrades for that if I want to, so maybe I'll do that in the future as well. Definitely need... The floorboards on Harleys are small. I don't get it. I don't know why Harley doesn't put bigger ones on. My ones on any of the Indian baggers, they are way bigger. You're also sitting more into the bike, so you have a little bit more leg room. So I'll need some foot pegs or something. Maybe Adam Sandoval's little dinghies that he's got. Because that might be nice. And that might make it feel a little more at home. I want the bag protectors, at least for the back. Maybe I'll try some more like performance stunty looking stuff maybe in the future. Versus the stock bars that are on here. Let's see, let's go this one. Cover a couple things I recently did on this bike, which I did not have my camera going for. I did attend I got into Adam Sandoval's convoy at Wisconsin Harley Davidson, and then I watched him go past there, and then I ended up meeting him out at a bar called Curves Inn, which did some fundraising, and they all ended up showing up there. I actually didn't know they were going to be there. I just randomly decided to go there because it used to be part of my stomping grounds, and it was packed with bikes, and I realized, hey, Adam's Ride showed up here. And they stayed for a while, did some patronage to the business, and then hit the road. So shout out to Vinny from Curves Inn, the owner, and the crew there for raising some good money. I think they wrote a check for like $1,500. They did a 50-50 raffle, and the person that won the 50-50 raffle donated it all, which is exactly what you should do when we're doing money for charities, in my opinion. I would have done the same thing if I would have won it, so I was all for it. I had a birthday ride for one of my friends. He does a birthday ride every year. So I jumped in that, rode with a bunch of riders. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I'm going to make it back to the campgrounds. So the other change besides motorcycles has been our house. We went from a 33-foot travel trailer toy hauler, which we've towed behind a F350 single wheel. We are now on we have a blue dually. I'll show a picture of the blue dually here. And besides that, we have a fifth wheel Fuel 362 toy hauler that is our new living quarters, which is so much better, a lot more room. We have a half bath in the back the boys can use, because I've got the two teenage boys who are 15 and 14 along for the ride. So that's all going well. And so far so good. We're definitely making some arrangements and changing things up a little bit. So far so good. I am enjoying this bike though. I mean it is peppy. If I really hit on it, it wants to pick the front end up, and I haven't even got a tune on it yet. So, well, minus the stage 1 tune that Harley put on it, but you know, it's a Harley tune. There's that. Well, that's the update for today. Sorry that I haven't been posting. I am, like I said in many videos before, I'm going to try to come up with a rhythm for this now. I'm going to make it an effort for a couple reasons. One, it gets me out riding, and I get to sort of have my own little therapy, including talking to you all. So I'll probably, divulge myself to you a little bit more. And thank you for the 100 or so subscribers that are still, for some reason, subscribed, even though I haven't posted anything in 9 months. That's going to change, I hope. And hopefully I'll get some accountability from some of you by leaving comments when I don't. And that's perfectly fine. I actually had one of my first negative reviews, which is hilarious, so I'm alright with that. It's like, and it was fine. It was 100%. Look, I'm okay with the comment, and I'm not gonna take it personally, really, but it was on a video that I did about the tires I put on the Tiger, and it was like worst review ever. And I completely agree. I didn't ride off-road. I don't really do off-road. Never did. So I can't tell you anything. I didn't take off on gnarly paths. I couldn't tell you they're horrible tires because of that, because I just don't do that kind of riding. Never did. I wanted to, but my body is telling me not to do it, otherwise I would. So anyways, as we ride off into the sunset, I just want to say, if you're thinking about motorcycles, go get on them. Get on some wheels and frickin' spaz out and have some fun. So that's what I'm going to continue to do, and I enjoy life better when I'm doing it. So I got to ride this beast to work tomorrow. I'm actually going to go into the office in Milwaukee, which I haven't done in quite a while, and hang out with some folks there, and so I'll get some riding in tomorrow. Maybe I'll actually do some recording while I'm doing that too, just so I have some more content to come out in the next week or so. So future, I will do some posts on a walkthrough of the new housing arrangements that we have and the fuels, so you can see that. And we'll just sort of discuss where we're going next and what we're going to be doing next. So, for the time being, Get out there and ride if you have wheels. If you don't have wheels, seriously think about getting them. They are my mental health at this point. So, have a good one. I'm out.